If this video showed up for you, it's because your reality is about to change. And if you give up now, you'll miss the most important moment of your life. These past few days, something's been bothering you deep inside. A weird feeling, a desire to disappear, a different kind of silence in your chest. Nothing makes much sense, but something in you already knows this isn't just exhaustion. It's a calling, and it's preparing you to cross an invisible portal. This change won't give you a heads up before it happens. It's already begun. And what you're feeling right now is just the first sign that your energy is being pulled to another level. You can try to ignore it, but when Thoth revealed the second law, he made it clear. Reality doesn't wait for those who hesitate. It responds to those who vibrate. So if you've made it this far, there's no turning back. Because every second you keep watching, you're getting closer to the point of no return. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening to you and why this is the most dangerous time to give up. The universe is showing you the way, and if you keep going, it'll start to obey you. The universe is a great mirrored mind. Whatever you hold in silence within yourself, it screams back in the form of reality. There's a silent, subtle force that's working all the time, even when you're not paying attention. It doesn't yell, it doesn't impose, it doesn't demand obedience. It just works. And this force is the foundation behind everything you see, feel, attract, and experience. The ancients called it the Law of Correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. This phrase was recorded thousands of years ago, but it's not just a poetic metaphor. It's a vibrational code, a hidden principle that explains why everything around you seems to shape itself according to your deepest emotions. And when you start to notice the effects of this law, the game completely changes, because what you used to call coincidence, you now call alignment. This law is manifesting more strongly now because the Earth's vibrational field is shifting. Maybe you've already felt it. Everything that's out of alignment seems to fall apart faster. Fake relationships crumble, lies come to light, masks fall off. But it's not the world in crisis. It's the world being reflected more precisely. Like a giant mirror has been placed in front of humanity. A mirror that doesn't judge, but reveals. And what it reveals is you. Not the you that others see, but the you that vibrates when no one's watching. Your intentions, your raw emotions, your hidden fears, your silenced truths. All of that starts showing up in the outside world, not because the universe wants to punish you, but because it can only reflect what's already being broadcast. That's the key most people ignore. Reality doesn't respond to what you think you want. It responds to what you actually vibrate. You might say you want abundance, but if deep down you vibrate fear and scarcity, the universe responds to the field, not the words. You might claim you want love, but if you still feel unworthy, the response you get from the outside will match that inner frequency. And that's not punishment. It's correspondence. The outer world is the echo, but the shout comes from within. Yet most people live trying to change the echo. They chase external solutions, try to control people, manipulate situations, predict the future. But that's like shouting into a valley and expecting the echo to come back different. It won't. It always returns the way it was sent out. And here's the part almost nobody gets. This law doesn't just reflect, it amplifies. If you vibrate doubt, the world echoes multiplied doubt. If you vibrate clarity, everything aligns. That's why when you're at peace, good things just seem to flow. The right people show up, doors open, time seems to work in your favor. But when you're in inner conflict, everything seems stuck, delayed, crashing. Because reality isn't neutral. It's moldable. And the one molding it is you, even if unconsciously. But that also means the same force that once caused pain can be used to create transformation. The law of correspondence doesn't pick sides, it simply responds. And that's where the secret is. When you change your vibration, the universe has no choice but to change its response. But this change doesn't happen on the surface. It's not enough to repeat positive phrases or pretend to be okay. True vibration is born from the core, from what you believe about yourself when everything's quiet, from the energy you carry when you're not trying to please anyone, from who you are when you're not performing. And that's why this law is so often forgotten, because it demands responsibility. It's way easier to blame the world than to face the fact that you're creating it all the time. But at the same time, it's freeing. Because if your current reality was created by your old vibration, then your next reality is being created right now, by the frequency you're emitting in this exact moment. You start to realize that events aren't signs of the end. They're signs of reflection. And the more intense your inner vibration is, the clearer and more undeniable the external response becomes. But how this connects to your results in life, that's what's really going to surprise you. You're already co-creating your reality, even without knowing it. You're not just emitting a frequency, you're already co-creating your reality with it, even without realizing it, even without understanding how it happens, even without believing in it. Co-creation doesn't depend on your level of awareness. It depends on the vibration you continuously hold. And that's why so many people live in realities they say they don't want, yet silently keep feeding. Before anything happens in the physical world, it has to be born in an invisible plane. First comes an image, a vague idea, a desire. Sometimes it's just a random thought, a quick visualization, something that seems harmless. But that's where everything starts. The universe doesn't read your words, it reads your field. And the field begins to form the moment you hold an image with emotional charge. Want a practical example? You think about buying a car, a specific model, a specific color. Suddenly you start seeing that car everywhere. Seems like magic, seems like a sign. But it's not just coincidence. It's vibration. You tuned into that image. You fueled the thought with emotion. That created a frequency. And the frequency connected you with similar patterns in the external field. That's how co-creation happens all the time. You vibrate and reality responds. You emit and the field organizes. Even if you're not doing it consciously, the life around you is the mirror of your inner emission. And this is where most people waste the power they have, because they live in anger, guilt, fear, anxiety, and then think it's strange when everything around feels heavy, unfair, blocked. But it's not the world that's wrong. It's the vibration programmed to keep that repetition going. Every negative thought fueled by emotion is printing into your field the order, repeat this. Every belief in scarcity, limitation, personal unworthiness, you're sending out the command for the universe to deliver more of the same. And the most amazing part is that you could be co-creating intensely without even realizing you're doing it. The mind never stops. The field doesn't sleep. Even while you say you want change, your vibration might still be trapped in the old cycle. Because it's not desire that manifests. It's vibrational consistency. You might want peace, but live on alert. Want abundance, but feel small. Want love, but close yourself off out of fear of getting hurt. And the universe, obedient as ever, just gives back what you put out. Because everything outside was first inside. The house you live in, the relationships you have, the body you inhabit, the money that flows, all of that was once an image, a thought, a vibration you emitted at some point on your path. That's why there's no such thing as neutrality. You're always co-creating. Always. even when you don't want to, even when you say you're lost, even when you think you have no control over anything. And the deepest part of all this is that the repetition of what you're living today isn't happening by chance. It's being fed. But what almost no one tells you is that this vibration could be getting programmed against you. This vibration you emit without realizing it doesn't just shape your reality. It might be getting fueled by something much deeper, an unconscious programming. What's holding your life back isn't just lack of action or knowledge. It's the invisible pattern running in the background, pulling you back to the same point, even after all the effort to move forward. Most people don't realize it, but they live in a state of repetition. Wake up, react, feel, think, react again, all under the same emotional frequency. And that's called a cycle. No matter how much you study, read, try, if the vibrational base doesn't change, the universe keeps responding to the old commands. Because the universe doesn't respond to your intention, it responds to your dominant vibration. And here comes the biggest trap. The mind that created the problem is the same one trying to solve it. The same pattern that caused the block is the one you use to try and escape it. And the result? More of the same. The fear of failure makes you hesitate. Hesitation frustrates you. Frustration creates more fear. And you find yourself spinning in an invisible maze built by your own beliefs. You start wanting to change, but the emotional field responds first with resistance. Here comes the fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of losing the little you still have. And that fear becomes the base of every decision. Change starts to look like a threat, not a liberation. And the field responds. If there's a threat, stay put. Freeze, shut down, protect yourself. That's the point where many fall back into victimhood. They blame the world, circumstances, people around them. I can't because I was born in that place. Because I have no support. Because the system blocks me. But what's really blocking you is the vibrational pattern of powerlessness. The belief that you don't have a choice. The feeling that change isn't possible unless something external comes to rescue you. Meanwhile, the emotional field is recording every thought, every emotion, every reaction, and turning all of it into a vibrational command. What you feel intensely and repeat frequently becomes reality. But that reality starts becoming a distorted mirror. You see what you don't want, feel what you don't like, but keep feeding it with the same feelings. And the most subtle part, you start trying to change the reflection, not the original image. It's like someone trying to fix the mirror instead of looking at themselves. Someone trying to erase the reflection without realizing it only exists because something is being projected from within. Until you shift the source, the reflection stays the same. You might even move to a new city, get a new job, start a new relationship, but the cycle comes back. Because what needs to change is still hidden. And that's why before changing your reality, you need to discover what's hidden in the mirror's reflection. You can't give up now that you're almost there. Behind everything you call reality, there's a reflection. And that reflection isn't coming from the world, it's coming from you. Every situation, every person, every recurring scenario that bothers you, all of it is a response. The universe doesn't react to your will. It responds to your vibration. And this response isn't emotional, isn't sensitive, has no empathy. It's exact. It's like an impersonal vibrational mirror that simply reflects what you emit. No judgment, no filter, no mercy. That's why, even when you're trying so hard, even when you make plans, study, dream, desire, it seems like nothing changes, because the reflection doesn't respond to your hope. It responds to your dominant frequency. As long as your field is fueled by fear, doubt, victimhood, or discouragement, the universe is going to reflect exactly that. And it's not out of cruelty. It's out of coherence. It's correspondence. And here comes one of the hardest truths to face. The outer world doesn't get it wrong. It shows exactly what's vibrating inside of you. There's no point in changing cities, jobs, partners. If your frequency stays the same, the pattern returns with a different face, but the same weight. The person changes. The clothes change. The story disguises itself. But the cycle remains. And at this point, many people give up. Not out of laziness, not because they don't want it, but because they've tried so many times and fallen. And every fall hurts a little deeper, because no one teaches that the process isn't about controlling what comes from outside. It's about changing what vibrates inside. With every failed attempt, every closed door, every discouraging word, a dream feels further away. And when you feel like you've got nothing left, when your heart feels empty, that thought shows up. Maybe it's just not meant for me. But that's where the big mistake is. It's not that the dream is too big. It's that the vibration is out of alignment with it. You can't give up now, because if you stop, the mirror stops with you. And everything you're living today happens again, with new masks, new dates, new names, but the same feeling of being trapped. Life won't give you rest until you change on the inside, because it was designed to show you what needs to be adjusted. The mirror doesn't forgive distractions. Smiling on the outside means nothing if you're vibrating anguish inside. It feels what's real and delivers accordingly. But when you start changing your vibration without warning, the mirror changes the reflection. The people around you change. Opportunities show up. Situations transform. Because now you're emitting a different signal. You're no longer waiting for the world to change. You become the change that starts to shape the world. And if you understand the next step, you'll finally stop repeating the same destiny with different characters. And when that reflection changes, something deeper is revealed. There's a hidden sequence that shapes everything. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's a cycle. An invisible mechanism that's always running, even when you don't notice. And if you pay attention, you'll see it all starts where almost no one looks. Belief. Belief is the origin point, the vibrational foundation where everything begins. It doesn't matter if you say positive affirmations every day, if deep down you still believe you don't deserve it, that it's hard, that you'll never make it. That belief becomes the root code of your reality. From that, thoughts are born, and thoughts generate emotions. Strong emotions create consistent vibrations, and that consistent vibration is what the universe reads as truth. It's not hearing your words, it's translating your frequency. So the cycle forms like this: belief, thought, emotion, vibration, reality. And the scariest part? It doesn't stop. It's continuous. If you don't interrupt it, it runs the show. And the more it spins without awareness, the more you reinforce your own prison. Life repeats itself because the circuit stays untouched. That's why, when you try to change only on the surface, doing affirmations, changing habits, trying to think differently, but keep the same core belief, the cycle restarts. The field understands that nothing really changed. The vibration is still stuck at the origin point. It's like trying to clean the water without touching the source. Reversal starts the moment you observe the process, when you realize that emotion dominating you came from a recurring thought, and that thought came from a belief you accepted as truth a long time ago. Maybe when you were a child, maybe during trauma, maybe in a moment of pain that made you believe you had to protect yourself from the world. And the power is exactly there, in realizing that if you were the one feeding the cycle, you're also the one who can dissolve it. But for that, you need to interrupt the automatic. Stop reacting the same way. Break the loop between belief and reality, not with a fight, but with presence. With the conscious decision to observe what's happening inside you before sending out a vibrational response to the world. Because when you change the belief, your thoughts change, your emotions reconfigure, your vibration adjusts, and reality starts to reflect something new. The visible change is just the tip. The root is in the invisible, in the field, in the core of your vibrational identity. What you consume vibrates with what you create. But to really manipulate the universe, you're going to have to access the hardest part: responsibility. Because the cycle only breaks when you stop blaming the world for how you feel. The breaking point is invisible, but deeply transformative. It's the moment you stop waiting for something out there to change and start understanding that everything that happens outside is a vibrational copy of what's vibrating inside. This is the moment where a lot of people give up, because it's easier to blame the past, the people, the system, luck. It's more comforting to believe you didn't succeed because the world was unfair. But Thoth said, "Nothing external has power over you except the power you give it. As long as your mind insists on blaming others, your vibration keeps feeding the same reflection. And that's why real power is born in the silence of recognition. When you look at your life and, without guilt or drama, admit, this reality was co-created by me. Even the part that hurts, even the failures, even the chaos, because that's where your vibration showed up, maybe unconsciously, but it was yours. And this isn't condemnation, it's freedom, because if you created it, then you can change it. From the moment you become sovereign over your field, you stop being a hostage to circumstances. And when that happens, the second law starts obeying you. The universe is a mirror, yes, but it's also an amplifier. It doesn't just reflect, it expands. And that's where something comes in that almost no one notices. Vibration isn't just in what you feel, it's also in what you consume. Every video, every song, every word you hear, every conversation you repeat, every profile you follow, all of that is either feeding or sabotaging your vibrational field. Because what you silently watch, what you laugh at, what you share, all of it is energetic fuel. The internet has become humanity's biggest vibrational temple, and also the most dangerous. Because there, everything gets in without a filter. And if you don't catch the frequency behind the content, it installs itself in your field without you realizing it. Subtly, it shapes your emotional state, your beliefs, your thoughts, and as a result, your reality. The feed that pops up on your screen isn't random. It responds to your field. It vibrates with you. And if you pay close attention, you'll see it's telling you something, revealing patterns, mirroring your deepest vibrational interests. And if even your feed is revealing you, imagine what the entire universe is trying to say, the point of no return, where the universe obeys you. Because vibration doesn't just attract, it organizes. And when you start to change what you consume, what you think, what you feel, something invisible reconfigures. The field responds. The mirror reflects back. And reality manipulation stops being a distant theory. It becomes a natural occurrence. The most amazing part is that nothing needs to be forced. When the vibration changes authentically, reality doesn't resist. It listens. And without you chasing, without begging, without burning yourself out, the pieces start to move. People reappear. Opportunities arise. Doors open. And you realize you're no longer fighting the world. You're flowing with it. The second law taught by Thoth isn't a magic formula. It's a vibrational key. It's based on the exact correspondence between who you are inside and what life shows outside. When that correspondence lines up, manipulation happens. Not as control, but as response. Changing beliefs isn't just positive thinking. It's dissolving what holds you back at the most subtle level. It's allowing the old field to break down so a new one can be built with coherence. Thinking differently, feeling differently, acting in alignment. All of that reorganizes your energy, and when that happens, the universe has no choice. It responds to the new programming. The right vibration doesn't require effort. It requires presence, coherence, consistency. And when that happens, reality becomes mirror and extension. You don't need to scream at the universe what you want. You vibrate it, and vibration doesn't ask. It emits, and whoever emits attracts. But there's one detail that can make it all go back to zero, and almost no one realizes they're falling into this trap. It's the moment when, after raising their vibration, the person relaxes and falls into the illusion that they no longer need to sustain the field. They go back to operating on autopilot, let little distractions slip in, react impulsively. Forget that the universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you maintain. That's when the field starts to slow down, and the reflection starts to distort again, not as punishment, but as vibrational precision. Only there's a point beyond which that doesn't happen anymore. A point where the field stabilizes so coherently that reality has no choice but to keep up. That's the point of no return, and it doesn't activate with words or affirmations or desperate attempts to change everything all at once. It happens when the being stops negotiating with their own truth. When they stop dancing to fear's tune. When they stop asking for permission to be who they are. At this stage, vibration is no longer a tool. It's a state of being. The energy field becomes so whole, so complete, that it starts acting as a new reality code. Everything that's out of alignment drifts away by gravity. Everything that's in tune draws closer. Not because you asked for it, but because you became the source that emits that vibration. And source doesn't beg, source radiates. It's in this moment that the universe stops testing, because the test isn't something it creates. The test is internal incoherence manifesting externally. When there's no more incoherence, there's no more repetition. What once came as a trial now comes as confirmation. The world stops being a battlefield and becomes a clear mirror, a response portal. And this is no longer a theory. It's a real point within your vibrational field. When it activates, there's no more struggle to manifest. There's direction, there's precision, there's internal silence, and external clarity. Your energy starts to command the environment, situations, and encounters, not by force, but by resonance. This is where you understand the true meaning of manipulating the universe. It's not about controlling everything. It's about recognizing that the universe is already in motion, and you are the axis that defines how that motion moves through you. The manipulation isn't external, it's internal. It's vibrational, it's subtle, but it's relentless. And that's why, if this video found you, it's because the point of no return is approaching, or has already been activated. Because there's no such thing as coincidence when the field is awake. You were drawn to this content, not because you were looking for answers, but because the answers were looking for you. The universe found coherence in you. And when that happens, everything changes. The second law of Thoth is alive. It's active. It's present. It responds with precision to the frequency you hold in the unseen. And if you felt every word up to this point, there's no doubt anymore. You've crossed the portal. The field has recognized who you are. And from now on, nothing will be the same. The universe has found you. The second law is active. Now the field responds to who you are, and there's no turning back. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you recognized this message. So type in the comments, "I felt it. I'm ready for this new reality." This phrase anchors the vibration that's been awakened, and also inspires others to awaken along with you. And if this content touched your soul, and you want to help spread more messages like this out there, there's a link in the first pinned comment where you can support the channel directly. Or, if you prefer, you can click the Thanks a Lot button here on YouTube. Besides contributing, you help keep this vibration alive and active in the world. But don't leave just yet. A special video has been picked for you to continue this vibrational journey. Just click on the screen and I'll see you there. You'll understand even more about how to manipulate reality with true vibrational awareness.